Alright, so when we get to our Google Classroom page, let's go to classwork and then scroll down. Well, I guess it's okay, we're going to scroll down until we see Dare, and we're going to click on Dare Essay, and then we're going to open our copy of the Dare Essay. So when you click on it, this is going to bring you to your own copy of the Dare Essay. So I'll click on that. It will bring me up a copy of the essay. Okay. Now we're going to go back to Google Classroom. We're going to click on Stream, and we're going to go down to, this would be Tuesdays. Right here is the Dare Essay PowerPoint. So the Dare Essay PowerPoint is going to tell you everything that you need to have in your essay. So I'm going to pull this tab out, and I'm going to split my screen so we can see both of them at the same time. We'll do that. Okay, so I have both of my screens here. Alright. So we are going to ignore what this says here, and we're going to do what the actual PowerPoint says. So we're going to go here, scroll down. Okay, so it says, first, let's pick 3 things you learned from the DARE program that you would like to write about. So we're going to choose 3 things from this list that you want to write about in your essay. So, for example, let's look at what she did. Oh, maybe it doesn't say. Okay, so she chose making good choices, avoiding violence, and being drug-free. So we're going to delete these lines over here. And for our topics that we write about, we are going to put making good choices, being drug-free, and she did avoiding violence. Okay, so these are the 3 things that I'm going to talk about in my essay. So now I can start forming my first paragraph. So it says, let's start with your first paragraph. So you're going to create an emotional, so a sad, funny, or serious story, question, or interesting or bold facts that hooks your reader. So we want to either form like a question that's going to hook our reader. We want to state some facts that's gonna hook our reader. Anything that's going to get our reader's attention, that's what we want to put. So if you look at her example, this is what she put. She said, did you know that every 4 minutes a child is arrested for drug use? Did you know that by the end of 8th grade, 52% of students have tasted alcohol, 41% have smoked cigarettes at least once, and 20% have tried marijuana? These startling statistics were shared by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. So all of this right here is her hook. So over here in your essay, let's just write hook, and let's write, so this is where you would write like your interesting facts, your questions, your statements that you have that you really want to use to get your reader's attention. Okay, so we wrote this hook, and now we're going to write, let's go back in here, we're going to write our purpose. So explain your purpose or background information for writing your essay. So why are you writing this essay? That is going to be your purpose. So let's make purpose here. Okay. And then if we look at her example, it says, that is why the DARE program is so important for youth of today. So over here, you're going to write your purpose for the essay. I also noticed that she has 2 sentences for her purpose, which is fine. You can have more than 1 sentence. So she has, that is why the DARE program is so important for the youth of today. DARE stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. That is her purpose sentence. After we write our purpose, let's go back up and see what the next step is. The next step is our thesis statement. So your thesis statement is going to tell about the 3 points that you're going to write about. So over here, let's make a section for thesis statement. Okay. And this says, through the DARE program, students are being taught to make good decisions, avoid violence, and most importantly, be drug-free. So for the thesis statement, she is just putting these 3 topics, so 3 things that she's going to write about in her essay, she's putting them in this statement as one sentence right here. So another example of what you could do would be, in this essay, I'm going to be talking about the importance of good choices, avoiding violence, and being drug-free. Okay, so that would be another example of how you could write your thesis statement. Okay, and then it just says transition smoothly to your next paragraph. You don't really have to worry about this too much right now. We'll really work on transitions when you're kind of finished with your outline and your rough draft. But let's just look at what she put. So she went on and put, therefore, it is important to stop young people before they start using drugs or using, and I can't read that. Okay, we'll just say, or doing bad choices. Okay, so now we have, make this a little bigger. So now we have kind of our first paragraph. We have all the important parts of our first paragraph listed here. But we're going to format it a little bit differently so it looks like a paragraph. So I know what my 3 topics are. I can leave this here if I want to so I don't forget them. So I'll go ahead and leave those there. I'm going to erase my hook part. I'm going to erase the purpose. And I'm going to make sure that all of the sentences flow together like they do in a paragraph. Like that. Okay. And then I'm going to indent the first line of my paragraph. So this is my first paragraph right here. After I write my first paragraph, I want to go through the checklist and make sure that I have everything that I need. So it says right here, can you find the hook? So we have our hook right here. Did you know? Okay. This is our hook. Okay. What is the thesis statement? The thesis statement is this one right here. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Okay, so your thesis statement is, in this essay I'm going to be talking about the importance of good choices, avoiding violence, being drug-free. That's the thesis statement. Did my paragraph include a purpose or background information? Yep. So this would be the purpose right here and a little bit background information about DARE. And did I transition smoothly to the next paragraph? We do not have a transition, so maybe I just want to insert into my notes, make transition here. Okay. And then I'm going to leave it at that because that's good for my first paragraph. I'm going to go ahead and move on to my second paragraph. So I also made a video about making your second paragraph, but I'm going to show you how to make it based on this paragraph that you formed here. So if we scroll down, I also mentioned that the PowerPoint and this outline that they gave us doesn't really line up together, so we're going to do what the PowerPoint says that we're supposed to do and not necessarily what this says we're supposed to do. So I changed this yesterday, but if yours isn't changed, this should say first detailed paragraph, okay? So it should just say first detail paragraph. All right. Once it says that, and it should say at least 6 sentences, once it says that, you are going to scroll up and you are going to look at the different topics that you chose. Because remember, we put all of these in our thesis statement right here. You're going to look at those topics and whichever one you have listed first is the one you're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about the importance of making good choices in our first detailed paragraph. So I'm just going to put right here, making good choices, so that I know what this paragraph is going to be like. Remember, this is just your outline. It's just kind of your rough draft. So whatever you put here isn't really finalized. So we want to make a lot of notes for ourselves so we remember what we're writing. All right. So the length needs to be at least 6 sentences. All right, so it says, now let's get started on your three detailed paragraphs. So first, find your first point. We did that. All right, get or plan your outline. We got that. All right, we want to take a few minutes to list a few ideas about your first point that you will write about. This will guide the content of the paragraph. Think before you start writing the next paragraph. So for example, you're just going to make a few notes about making good decisions because that is our first topic. So whatever you chose for your first topic, you're going to put some bullet points here. So I put saying no, making good friends, saying no to peer pressure, and then the DARE decision making model. Okay? Then you're going to start your paragraph. So it says, now I will use the list to help me start the sentence. All right. So you need to include a topic sentence. So let's just go ahead and write that. Topic sentence. Because I know that I need to include that in my paragraph. Okay. So let's just start with the topic sentence. So if we look at her example, her topic sentence is, choices we make determine our future. That's a pretty good topic sentence. Okay. So we have our topic sentence written. Your topic sentence should introduce what you're about to talk about. So it should say something about what you chose as your first topic. So what are you going to be talking about? Okay. Then, after we do that, let's read through this, because I have at least 6 sentences, but we'll get to that. This is the main topic. Okay. We want to make sure that all of the information here is talking about how we make good choices. Okay, so let's look at her example. So, we can just put important details here. And then we can write out like 4 or 5 sentences about why it's important to make good choices and how we make good choices. So let's read what she put. The DARE program teaches young people how to say no when they are offered drugs. Sometimes it's best to just say no thank you and walk away. Furthermore, a true friend cares about your health and would never resort to peer pressure. We must choose our friends wisely. The DARE program discusses the qualities to look for when choosing a good friend, such as honesty, compassion, the ability to compromise, loyalty, and trust. During the program, students learn about the DARE approach to making good decisions and problem solving. The decision-making model is define, assess, respond, and evaluate, which can be used in many situations. Okay, so when you write out your important details, remember to put like information about what DARE has taught you about making important choices or important decisions. Or like if your first topic is like cigarettes, you want to put important information that you learned from DARE about cigarettes and how to avoid cigarettes. So go ahead and put all of your important detailed sentences there. And the very last thing that we need to do is make a transition sentence or a closing sentence. I can't read hers because it's kind of cut off, but I'll give you an example of this transition sentence here. We can put something like, learning how to make good decisions is essential for our well-being, and it's important to practice those skills daily. So now we have our second paragraph written. I'm going to go ahead and combine this into an actual paragraph format. So what I'm going to do is delete these because I'm done with those. I don't need them anymore. I'm going to delete the topic sentence, and I'm going to indent it using my tab key. And then I'm going to delete this and move it all together so that it makes one paragraph. Alright, just like that. And there you go, you have your 2 paragraphs done. Let me know if you have any questions.